Ain't no question if I want it, I can feel the slowly dripping.
What up, Tank?
I'm hungry, so why you playing? I'm saying I will never ever let you live this down.
What's up, Andropolis Nation? We're here again today, as always, to draft another Best Ball Mania team. Let's draft the winner today. Let's draft the $3 million winner live on stream today. Feels like the perfect day to win $3 million, doesn't it? Feels really, really good. So let's go ahead. Let's jump to another lobby. I think I need to share my screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at. So let's go ahead and do that. And so I'm just going to look through, I'm going to look through the rankings real quick just to recenter myself. Oopsies. What is happening right now? Get rid of all that shit. Come on. So here's our rankings. One thing I was looking into was where are all of the areas where we can, I guess, claw back a lot of value. So I'm doing this live on stream for you guys. I haven't even looked at this data yet. Created a new formula because I think that there's an edge that we can glean out of my model versus ADP. So we're going to put that in. Let's go ahead. Let's just delete these two columns right here. Actually, one of them could be helpful. Let's delete this one because we don't need this column. We're still waiting on 5 people. If you want to hop into the stream and try to snipe me, go ahead and hop into the stream. We'd love to have you. So I created this new metric called JVal. And I basically used an adjusted risk value for ADP. So if you guys haven't been following along, Mike Leone basically gave a lot of pushback on the thread that I posted. If you guys aren't familiar with my thread, go ahead and follow me at Joshua J. Hyun on Twitter. You can find that in the tag under my name. And basically, like, I know the show is called Stacking Doesn't Matter. His first part in his Best Ball Manifesto is about stacking and why it matters so much. And my thing with like stacking doesn't matter, it wasn't to say that stacking doesn't matter at all. I mean, it's more so like an engagement sort of tactic. And because I mean, that's what we got to do on YouTube, just to try to get people to click on my show. But it's more so like we're seeing kind of ADP's shift where guys like TJ Hawkinson is going in at the 4-5 turn because he pairs up well with Justin Jefferson. I don't think TJ Hawkinson should be going at the 4-5 turn before like Kyle Pitts, George Kittle, or Dallas Goedert, who you can get at like this in the 6th, 7th round. That's just like a way too far of a discrepancy for similar production, and the only reason he's like 3 rounds ahead of those guys is because he stacks up well with Justin Jefferson, and the Justin Jefferson owner doesn't want to pass on TJ Hawkinson there. I think that is kind of an inefficiency in the market today that we can take advantage of. And so that was exactly the notion behind creating this JVal metric. One thing which Mike Leone also dove into was ADP value. And he used this negative exponential chart to assign different values to draft capital, basically saying the earlier picks are a lot more valuable than the later picks. I actually even used Philippe Toussaint's adjusted ADP value curve from his Best Ball Data Bowl submission, applied it to my model, And that's what this risk val score is. So if you can see, like here, let me go back to the top. As you can see, Justin Jefferson, who has an ADP of 101, his risk val is like 230, and it just slopes down as we go further down the chart. This is sorted based on ADP essentially. But I'm looking at this J-val metric to identify where the pockets of value are. And essentially the highest pocket of value is the quarterback position. Basically saying the quarterbacks are super undervalued, such as like Daniel Jones, Kyler Murray, Kenny Pickett. Obviously, Kyler Murray is coming off the 20 ACL, so like it's more so just like hatred for Daniel Jones. Let's look at the running back position. These are all guys that are supreme values at the running back position. Like everyone above a 80 J val of 20, like Alvin Kamara, Joe Mixon, Lenny, James Conner, Algier, Dameon Pierce, Jeff Wilson, Cordero, Zeke, Montgomery, Kenneth Gainwell, Damon Harris, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins. All those guys are going a little bit too late, and we should definitely be trying to hop on that a lot sooner than later because their ADPs might rise throughout the offseason. Let's look at the wide receiver position where the greatest values are. So obviously the values for the wide receivers are going to be a lot less than the running back position just based off of ADPs. But it looks like these are the top values at the wide receiver position. Zay Jones, Jacoby Myers, Mike Evans, Alec Pierce, Gabe Davis, Alan Lazard, Juju Smith-Schuster, George Pickens, Michael Thomas, Michael Pittman, Chase Claypool. So we should be looking to grab more of those guys. Even like Tyler Lockett, Jahan Dotson, Brandon Ayuk are pretty far down here as well. So we could be looking at acquiring some of those guys. I haven't been drafting too much Jahan Dotson. Maybe I should be grabbing a little bit more of him, especially since I'm a Commanders fan. So I need to be grabbing more Jahan Dotson, Hollywood, Elijah Moore, Josh Palmer, Cortland Sutton. All guys which we can be targeting and should be targeting based off of what the model is saying. So I'm going to be looking at pivoting towards some of these other guys. And basically what I want to do before my next show is Freiermuth is far and away the highest value at tight end. So obviously we want more Freiermuth. But I want to basically have a tiering structure so that I can get a better idea of like where the tiers actually break and where we can find supreme value in our drafts. But we're just going to go off vibes again today. We're in the 102. This is beautiful. Haven't gotten too many 102s, so I'm excited to get another Jamar Chase team here. So let's get this. Let's get this. Do I recognize anyone in the draft room? I do not. Wow. But this is going to be a fun one today. I'm excited. I actually expect Tyreek Hill's ADP to slowly dip down. I know where's Jamar Chase in our rankings? I'm actually curious. Jamar Chase in our rankings is wide receiver 4. But I do not have much Jamar Chase. So I want to be a little bit more exposed to Mr. Chase. So we'll go ahead and grab him at the 102. Unless for some reason Armorio decides to go Jamar Chase 101, then we'll go ahead and grab, or anybody else other than Justin Jefferson at 101, then I'll go ahead and grab Justin Jefferson. But like I said, we want to have some exposure to all the guys across the board. So he goes ahead and takes Justin Jefferson. We'll click Jamar Chase here at 102. Big fan of Jamar Chase. Think he's an absolute beast. So we'll go ahead and try to build out our team very, very nicely. Grabbing our wide receiver 4. We could try to grab Mr. Wide Receiver 9 T. Higgins and our QB4 Joe Burrow just to get the ultimate Bengal stack. I know stacking doesn't matter, but when all of these guys are ranked this highly, stacking does matter. That's going to give you a lot of advantage in week 17. So I definitely need to make an update to my thread and my analysis before the Best Ball Data Bowl submission is due, just because there's a lot of there's edges to be had. So we're going to try to go after them. But let's get it. Let's definitely get it. This is going to be fun. Feels like a nice little Joe Burrow here. But so this is the tough part, guys. This is the really, really tough part. Joe Burrow would make a beautiful stack with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. But on the converse, we could wait and grab a different player at like the 4-5 turn, because that's where Joe Burrow is going to go. Joe Burrow is going to go around the 4-5 turn. And we could be grabbing some of the running backs in that range, like a Joe Mixon. So like who's more valuable on this specific team? Is it Joe Burrow or Joe Mixon? Which Joe? Which Joe do we want? I lean towards the Joe Mixon side of the argument. I know Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase aren't as correlated, but I feel like a Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins stack, so many people are doing that already. So if I go up against those Week 17 stacks of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, can I differentiate by going Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Joe Mixon? Because based off the Best Ball Mania manifesto, everybody's trying to stack. Everybody's going after the Week 17 stack against Kansas City. That Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins stack. Everybody's going after it. So do we differentiate by grabbing Joe Mixon? I think so, especially because the guy that we want, Week 17, is this boy right here, Mr. Daniel Jones. He's playing against the Rams, Week 17. Rams defense is garbage. Ooh, Bijan fell. Whew. G. Flem got a nice value in Bijan at 2.4. But yeah, Daniel Jones versus the Rams, Week 17. That feels like money. Daniel Jones is my model's QB5, I think. QB5. Projected points of 18.7. And we can get him in the 10th? The 10th? Like, that's crazy. That is crazy. And then the fact that we can do that and we can build like a nice little 3-quarterback team feels pretty good. We'll see how the room falls. Like I said, we're not going to plan anything. Nothing's set in stone. We're going to just try to build out our roster like we're building out our roster. We're not going to reach for anything. We're just going to let the room fall to us. So we're going to grab the value as it falls, and we're gonna ball. So like if the room lets Jonathan Taylor fall to us, which would be wild, getting Jonathan Taylor at 23, like I will grab Jonathan Taylor. If Larry D takes Jonathan Taylor, I'll go T. Higgins. Have a plan for everything. So he goes Jonathan Taylor. So I'm gonna go T. Higgins. Just to grab both Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, 2 top 10 wide receivers. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. And it's kind of lining up exactly how we said it would. But feels pretty good to get both Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. We're going to pass on all the quarterbacks here and let them continue to push down the board because it doesn't feel like a QB sort of room yet. We could go Josh Jacobs, our RB1. But we could also go Breece Hall, our RB4, since I've been grabbing a lot of Josh Jacobs. You know what? Josh Jacobs is our RB1. Actually, let's see. Kansas City, Indianapolis, Miami, Washington, Cleveland. Ooh, Miami, Washington, Cleveland sounds pretty good down the stretch. We'll go ahead and take Breece Hall here. I have a decent amount of exposure to both Breece Hall and Josh Jacobs. Tank says Taylor falling all the way to the end of the second is beyond asinine. Yeah, I mean, if Taylor fell to me at 211, like I'd have to take him. But we'll end up getting Breece Hall here at 3.2. He's our RB4 in our model. I know Josh Jacobs is our RB1, but I already have a decent amount of Josh Jacobs' team. So we're going to go ahead and take Breece Hall here just because he's an absolute stud. Little bit of wariness because there is a Josh Jacobs contract situation, so I don't want to be supremely overweight on Josh Jacobs. But maybe I could have taken Josh Jacobs there, just continue to hammer him. But I like Breece Hall a lot. Taking a little bit of Breece Hall here, get a little more exposure to the man Breece Hall, because if he pops up and he is not placed on the pup, Breece Hall is going to shoot up in ADP. I could see Breece Hall landing like firmly into the second round. In that case, Josh Jacobs gets paired with Diggs and Devonta Smith. Okay. But yeah, I definitely need to be drafting more Jonathan Taylor. And I wish he had fallen to me at the 211. That would have been so nice. But we're starting our room. Breece Hall, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins feels pretty good. This New York Jets player opens us up to some more Jets Cleveland players. I know one of the most undervalued players in our wide receiver rankings is Mr. Alan Lazard. So we could be looking to grab Mr. Alan Lazard, who is our 6th most underrated wide receiver. The other ones being Zay Jones, Jacoby Myers, Mike Evans, Alec Pearson, Gabe Davis. So there's value to be had all across the board. Where's Breece Hall in our value rankings? Breece Hall probably is a little bit lower. Yeah, Breece Hall is down here. I know Josh Jacobs is up here, but could be able to grab either one of them. Tank says was able to start Cup Taylor Hall recently. It feels amazing. That is an incredible start. Cup Taylor Hall feels really, really good. Think that all those guys can smash at ADP. But this next turn is going to be pretty interesting because there's a lot of which ways we can go about it. Like I said, we could do the Joe Burrow tried and true thing, but I think that I'm going to want to go with I'm going to go a different route because a lot of people have been going the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins route. And I am planning to go a different route with my picks. So we'll see who falls to us. But I think we're going to want to go wide receiver with our front end pick. Let's go back to our rankings just because like all of these guys are in a similar tier once you get into like the 10 range, but Mike Evans, Brandon Ayuk, Christian Kirk, all at the top, Jerry Jeudy, DeAndre Hopkins, all guys which I want to have additional exposure to. So, I mean, if Jahmyr Gibbs gets gifted to us at 411, like I'll just hit the button on Jahmyr Gibbs and just thank the room for the gift. Okay. Jay Riguez, he grabs a nice little wide receiver running back duo of Stephon Diggs, Devonta Smith, and Josh Jacobs, Jahmyr Gibbs. That's pretty nice. But we'll just get whoever falls to us. There's a few which ways which we can go about it. I want a D-Hop to fall to us. That's okay that we don't get him, though. And then we could either go Christian Kirk or Brandon Ayuk with our first pick, and then grab our other guy at our next pick, TJ Hawkinson. Yeah, that's just it. I just do not feel comfortable taking TJ Hawkinson in the 4th round. That's just a little bit too rich for my blood. Our top guy in this range, Ayuk, Big Mike, Christian Kirk is our top guy in this range. I think I'm going to take Christian Kirk. It looks like I'm on the clock. Christian Kirk is the pick. He's our wide receiver 3, and it feels really good getting Christian Kirk as our wide receiver 3. That Jacksonville offense is just going to be absolutely elite. Brandon Ayuk, all right, that's nice to see him go right after us because I was considering Brandon Ayuk. And now we're going to take our models RB2, Mr. Joe Mixon, just to get that Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins stack. That feels really, really nice. Like being able to get our models RB2 and our models RB4 feels really, really nice, especially since we're able to get wide receiver 4, wide receiver 9, and wide receiver 13. That feels really, really good. What a team we're building out already. Good morning to you all. Take the Shy Guy asks, do you feel comfortable enough jumping a few picks for Kamara? Took him at the beginning of the 6th last night. That's early for him right now. I don't know why you would reach that far on taking Kamara when you can get him in like the 9th. I think his ADP ends up around the 9th round. I mean, if news comes out that Kamara's playing the whole season, Kamara's ADP is going to shoot up to the 3rd round, so that's going to be a value anyways. But if you're max entering Best Ball Mania, or if you're doing a bunch of Best Ball Mania drafts, it doesn't make a lot of sense to reach on Kamara in one specific draft because you're going to be able to do a bunch of drafts and get Kamara in the 8th, 9th, 10th round, where it doesn't feel super necessary to reach that far to grab Kamara in the 6th. Like, yeah, I don't really see the point of it. Top IRL, welcome back. Says Njigba's ADP seems to be climbing daily, as it should. Jackson Smith and Njigba is a freaking beast. So I'm trying to grab as much of Jackson Smith and Njigba as I can. If he falls, yes, I will take Jackson Smith and Njigba for sure. But if he doesn't, then that's okay. Would be wild if somehow Joe Burrow makes it back to us at pick 71. Like I would love that. And I would take that to the bank for sure. But if not, we're going to look to grab, is Mike Evans still down here? Oh, Mike Evans got taken. That would have been super sick if we could have gotten Mike Evans to fall to us. But foosball's a little sharp. He goes ahead and grabs Mike Evans. But what's our team look like so far? We have Jets, Jacksonville, 3 Cincinnati. But damn, that Cincinnati stack feels really nice. Okay, Joe Burrow gets taken. G6 just goes unstacked Joe Burrow. Oh, he goes with the Travis Kelce bring back. So I guess it makes a little bit of sense to do that. But nah, we're going to have all of the leverage with having Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. I haven't seen too many of those. So feels good to get that. Tank the Shy Guy says Kamara's current ADP on DK is 74. Only jump because I had the 12 pick. He's my first running back off the board. I mean, it makes sense that Kamara's ADP on DraftKings is 74 because all of Kamara's value comes from his receptions. So he's a great rusher as well. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, because the receptions just matter so much more for the running back position in full PPR. It makes sense that he goes a little bit earlier, and DraftKings is just wild across the board. So I wouldn't use DraftKings as a true measure of where ADP should be falling because underdog feels a little bit sharper in the ADP game, especially because like on DraftKings, like JSN and Jordan Addison routinely fall to like the 7th, 8th round. So I've been doing a lot of drafting JSN and Addison on DraftKings, and it feels really good to get those guys that late. Coming back to our room though. There's a lot of interesting ways which we can go with our pick. I know exactly who I want to take if it falls to us the right way. We will see, though. Damn. This is a interesting spot. I think that there's a few which ways which we can go about it. I don't think JSN is going to fall to us. That would be super. I think this guy's pretty sharp. He'll probably go JSN. He's building his team out very similarly to the way that we're building our team out. But I think we're going to want to go wide receiver again. Say Jacoby, Mike Evans, Alec Pierce. Gabe is probably Pickens is pretty high up here too. Mike Thomas, Michael Pittman, I think they're both gone. Lockett is up there too in the rankings. Yeah, he goes JSN. Traylon Burks, okay, that's interesting. Traylon Burks is a little bit lower for us. He's right here. Wide receiver 36 total. Yeah. I mean, Traylon Burks is going to be a great player. I'm a big fan of Traylon Burks. I don't know. I don't know about him. He'll definitely have spike weeks, but consistency, I'm worried. But if Mr. Lockett falls to us, damn. Looks like a wide receiver run is happening. We're getting caught straight in the middle of a wide receiver. I think we're gonna want to go. Goddard and Pitts don't really fit this team. I think the way that I want to play it. Oh, I wanted Pickens. Oh my God, he sniped me. That hurts. That hurts a lot. I guess we'll just go Gabe Davis then. I do want some more Addison too. Oh man, that really hurt. Yeah, Gabe Davis is one of our lowest ranked. Yeah, we'll go Gabe first, and then if Jordan Addison makes it back to us, we'll go ahead and hit Jordan Addison. If Jordan Addison does not make it to us, okay, Jordan Addison does make it to us, so we'll go ahead and grab Jordan Addison as our wide receiver 5. I just need more exposure to Jordan Addison, and I don't see him falling all the way here to pick 74 usually. So it feels good to get him in the 7th round. We'll have to figure out ways to build in correlation to Jordan Addison. We could do like a KJ Osborne, maybe even like a Romeo Dubs, that sort of thing. But feels good to get Gabe Davis. We'll pretty easily be able to build in correlation with Gabe Davis because there's a few targets in mind that I have that I would feel pretty good about getting all the way back there. But wide receiver room feels pretty good. Top IRL says no Tony for bring back. No, I do not want to be taking Kadarius Toney. Not on a team this beautiful. I'm not a believer in Kadarius Toney, especially at his current ADP. It feels just a little bit too rich for my blood. And like I guess like he could pop off. I don't know. I just don't see it. I really, really like the abilities. I don't like his ability to be healthy in that Week 17 game. It's a long NFL season, and Kadarius Toney just always gets hurt. Maybe that's not a reason to fade him, but like he's never been able to live up to this price. So it feels just like you're throwing your seventh round pick in the garbage if you're drafting Kadarius Toney. So like if you're okay with the zero at the position and hoping that the rest of your team is going to be able to carry you into the playoffs, and then you're able to see like one spike week from Kadarius Toney in the playoffs. Like if you really believe that your team can do that, like by all means take Kadarius Toney. But I don't want to spend my seventh round pick on Kadarius Toney at all. So I will not. I will be supremely underweight on Kadarius Toney, and I will also be supremely underweight on Isaiah Pacheco. I probably need to be drafting more Darren Waller. It looks like I only have 2% of him. Only have 2% Brandon Cooks. I definitely need to be drafting more David Montgomery. Only have 4% Montgomery. I probably want more Rachaad White as well. Only 4% Rachaad White. So we'll look to grab some more of these other guys as we continue our Best Ball Mania submissions. But it looks like I'm pretty well weighted in all these players down here. But yeah, no Toney for bring back. Do not want any Toney. G6 goes up and takes Toney. He was also the one who took Joe Burrow, so he's going for the pure correlation between all of them. Top IRL says, is the Spike Week extension paid for free? The Spike Week extension is paid. I signed up last year, so I'm able to get like a $24.99 a month sort of subscription. I think it is now $39.99 a month. So that price has gone up, and I'm happy that I was able to get a little bit of discount on it. But it's still something that I definitely recommend. I love the Spike Week extension. Love what they're doing over there at Spike Week. It feels good to have these sort of overlays for ourselves. So I like it. But let's see. So we have the New York Jets guy. We'll probably try to build in a little bit of correlation with him later. I guess we could build in some Elijah Moore correlation. I like Elijah Moore at these prices. Elijah Moore is right here in terms of our value rankings. He's right sandwiched between Marquise Brown and Josh Palmer. So it feels good getting – oh, Elijah Moore got taken. Damn it. Okay, maybe if it falls back to us. Shit. Michael Thomas. Where's Michael Thomas in our rankings? Michael Thomas is one of the more mispriced players, even though people definitely don't want any Michael Thomas just because he's not been able to stay healthy. Could go back to running back. Could go JMO for the pure Spike Week potential. This is an interesting area. I think we're going to try to get JMO at 9-2. It feels better getting him at that pick. Frymouth wouldn't make it back to us. Okay, we're going to have to think about this real quick. Let's hit JMO as our first choice. Michael Thomas. I think I'd rather have Michael Thomas than JMO because there's not really any correlation with either of them. And Michael Thomas is higher in our rankings. So we'll go ahead and take Michael Thomas. JMO gets selected. And then our Mario already has a tight end, so he has no reason to take Mr. Frymouth. So we should be good to take Frymouth and be able to get the team that we want to build later on. Frymouth is like our top tight end. He's our breakout tight end for sure. Feels good to get Frymouth, especially since he's our top value tight end. He's the only one that breaks the 20-point threshold at tight end because he's a little mispriced for the target shares that he's able to receive for everything. Honestly, he's mispriced. So I'm happy getting Frymouth, even though I did get him a little bit before ADP. I like taking Mr. Frymouth there. It feels good. So, yeah, Michael Thomas also playing the entire year, so it feels good to get him as our wide receiver 6. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. Can't do anything about that. But we have a pretty good starting roster for our running backs. We'll have to turn back to the running back position. There's a few which ways which we can go about it. We'll We'll see how the room continues to fall, but I'm liking our draft a lot so far. We have our honestly, we have 6 wide receivers through 8. That feels good. We have 2 running. We got our value running back in the 3rd. That feels good. And we got our elite tight end here in the 9th round. That feels really good as well. Help'em says, what's good, Josh? What's up, Help'em? How you doing today? Good to have you on the stream again. It's always good to see you in here. But yeah, we have this supreme Cincinnati stack. Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. So that's beautiful. We have a lot of one-offs, but we'll figure out ways to build in correlation later on. We're like I said, we're not reaching for anything. We're not reaching for correlation. We're letting the correlation come to us. That's the big thing with. I know the show is named Stacking Doesn't Matter. Yes, I hear you. But this is how you build out your teams. You don't reach for the correlation. You don't even like. It's not even like. Okay, like take T.J. Hawkinson for example. T.J. Hawkinson, this guy didn't even reach for correlation. He just wanted T.J. Hawkinson. But typically, T.J. Hawkinson, his ADP is in the 40s. It's around 48, 48.50 because he goes at this 4-5 turn almost every single time to match up with Justin Jefferson. Why? Why does T.J. Hawkinson go here at the 4-5 turn to match up with Justin Jefferson when you can get Dallas Goedert 24 picks later? Kyle Pitts 30 picks later. It makes no sense. It's completely nonsensical just for correlation. Oh, Daniel Jones got sniped. No. Oh, that ruins a lot of our plans. Okay, so we'll have to figure out how we're going to build out our quarterback room now because Daniel Jones is our top guy by far. We should be prioritizing Daniel Jones a little bit more, I guess. But I want Daniel Jones on a Cooper Kupp team. We'll figure out how to build in that correlation. But doesn't feel great to not get Daniel Jones or Damian Harris. I wanted both of them. But that's okay. Do not fret. We're going to figure out ways to build in correlation. We're going to do it, guys. Let's see. Who's some other guys we could look at? We could look at Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins does have the correlation with Mr. Addison, so that would feel good if we can get Kirk Cousins. Don't have a lot of correlation with Tua, so I don't think I need Tua on this team. We always talk about correlation with Alan Lazard, so definitely could also add Alan Lazard as well. Interesting stuff here. Very interesting stuff here. Let's look at the wide receiver values because I think we're going to want to take another wide receiver. Jacoby's here. Zay Jones. Mike Evans, Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce, is Zay still there? Or did Zay get sniped? Looks like Zay got sniped from us. Yeah, Zay did get sniped at the 9-12. 10 picks ahead of ADP. So that's with the Calvin Ridley. Oh, this guy sniped us on both our picks. So he's building out a little Jacksonville stack. Jacksonville Giants stack. So that guy's pretty sharp. Zoom jockey, I applaud you. You're building out a pretty solid roster over there. Armor already has a quarterback, so we're going to pass on the quarterback and let him fall to us in the 11th round. We could go Lazard to match up with Breece Hall, and Lazard is also a guy that my model really likes. Oh, Lazard got sniped as well. Oh, my God. All right, we're going to get Jacoby Myers. Larry D, please do not snipe us on Jacoby Myers as well. That would be pretty sick. If both our number ones get sniped on us, Jacoby Myers, we could build in correlation with Jacoby. All right, thank God. We're going to go ahead and grab our 7th wide receiver and just be done with the wide receiver position. Jacoby Myers going way too late. We'll go ahead and take Jacoby Myers here, and then we'll go ahead and grab Kirk Cousins on the back end. He is Justin Jefferson though, doesn't he? I did not think about that. He's going to snipe us on Justin Jefferson. Okay, let's think. We got to think on the fly here. Yeah, I knew he was going to snipe us on Kirk Cousins. That I should have thought about that. That was really dumb of me. Okay. That was a mistake. Really big mistake. Okay, we're going to take McKinnon here. We're just going to keep pushing the quarterbacks down the board. McKinnon as our RB3. Build in the bring back against Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. That feels pretty good, especially since McKinnon is our highest ranked running back in this range. So we'll look to grab him there. And we're just going to have to figure out a way to build in the quarterback correlation. Because Gabe doesn't fit. Addison, we could do Las Vegas, Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is going to be our key here, with Mr. Kenny Pickett much later on. Could go Derek Carr as well, but I don't love Derek Carr. Wow, this really went sideways really quickly. Well, we're going to save it, though, guys. Do not fret. We're going to save this roster. Even though the quarterbacks are getting pushed all the way down, that's where all the value is, guys. Let's go back to quarterback real quick. I wanted Mr. Danny Dimes, but we'll go ahead and get Mr. 2-3 over here. Mr. Kyler Kenny, if it falls to us the way that we needed to, at 143, 146. We're going to have to reach on them. Oh, that would be way too big of a reach. I don't want to do that. Where's our next picks? 167, 170. Ooh, that's right at ADP for them, right? Ooh. Oh, all right, we're going to play a dangerous game, guys. We're going to play a very dangerous game, but we're going to try it. This is how we go for the million. We're living on the edge out here, and we're just going to push quarterback all the way down to the late rounds because that's where all the value is. We've added all of these elite wide receivers. This is an elite wide receiver room if I've ever seen one. Elite tight end and Pat Freiermuth, super slept on. Elite running back room, Breece Hall, Joe Mixon, Jerick McKinnon. We're going to keep adding some of these studs. Could add like a Mr. Kendre Miller. That would feel pretty good. If Dalton Kincaid keeps slipping, screw it. We'll take Dalton Kincaid just because he offers asymmetric upside, and he would fall immensely past ADP. If Tua keeps sliding, honestly, like screw it. I'll take Tua. Just supreme ADP values. Who else do we have all the way down here? We like Mr. Jalen Warren as well. Mr. Tank Bigsby fits as well. We could just look at just stacking the running backs out in here. We're done at the running back position. We could go MVS is another bring back. Even though I don't love MVS, he fits. Actually, no, we're down at wide receiver. I don't need any more wide receivers. We took McKinnon as our main bring back. Jerome Ford fits the roster. Yeah, we'll see how we're going to fill this out. This is a really interesting spot. Wow, Tua is just on a massive plummet. Okay, Tua finally gets taken by Gianni Rad. Goes ahead and stacks Tua with Lamar. 38 picks past ADP. That is incredible that Tua just went on this massive slide, and pure value for whoever got them. But we are continuing to push quarterbacks down the board. I think I'm the only one in the room without a quarterback. Yeah, that's how it looks. I'm the only one in the room without a quarterback, but I think we're going to see how this team plays out because I have built almost every single one of my teams with the elite quarterback. But the quarterbacks just didn't fall to us correctly. We wanted Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones didn't fall to us. We wanted what else do we want? We wanted Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins didn't fall to us. Or we made the mistake of taking Jacoby Myers over Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins did fall to us. We just didn't take him. Big mistake on my part. But we're going to save it, like I said. We're going to save it. I probably should have done my quarterback one over my seventh wide receiver, but that's okay. We're going to figure out a way to make all that up by using our model. Our model is going to help us take home the hardware in this draft room. Derek Carr gets taken. So Tank says Carr. Sorry, that's not going to work for us either. My model doesn't like Derek Carr. I don't think Derek Carr offers a ton of upside. So I'm not hugely in on Derek Carr either. We're going to go back to the running backs. And we could do running back. And then hope and pray that our quarterbacks fall here. Oh, all these guys only have one quarterback. They'd probably snipe us. Ooh, dude. Jalen Warren, Matt Stafford just went. Damn, do I have to take my number one quarterback way ahead of ADP here? I might have to, guys. I might have to. There is a little bit of a quarterback run. Jalen Warren just got sniped. Oh, man, guys. This is a really, really unique scenario that I haven't been put in this situation before. We're going to grab Tank Bigsby here as our fourth running back. Get a little correlation with Mr. Christian Kirk, our third wide receiver. And we'll push the last running back or last two running backs for later in the draft. But maybe we just go quarterback here just because we can't risk missing out on him. Oh, this feels gross, but I think I need to do it. We're going to go ahead and take Kenny Pickett here because we can't risk missing out on the number one quarterback that we needed to get. And he's going to be healthy at the beginning of the year, unlike Kyler Murray. We reached on him 24 picks, so 2 rounds ahead of ADP, but I was not going up again until pick 167, and that's running the risk of one of these other guys that only has one quarterback on sniping him, especially since I don't have any of the Pittsburgh wide receivers. So like the Deontay Johnson owner could have sniped him, but I guess he just drafted a second quarterback, so he probably would have passed on him. Where's the George Pickens owner? George Pickens owner is right here. George Pickens owner. He needed a second quarterback, so George Pickens owner could have taken Kenny Pickett here at 166 if I passed on him, since he only has Mahomes right now. So I just didn't want to risk anything. So we're gonna go ahead and take our number one quarterback, my quarterback breakout for the year, Mr. Kenny Pickett. I love it. Reached on him a bunch of ADP, so we're going to try to claw back the ADP value later on. We reached on both Freiermuth and Kenny Pickett for a combined like 30 spots. So we're going to try to grab a 30-spot ADP just so we can try to get closer to that 0 ADP value in the draft sort of range, since we're a little bit behind the ball right now. But let's see who falls to us. I don't want Jerome Ford anymore. Let's see. Jacksonville, Buffalo. We could go Latavius later on. Minnesota. We could go Dwayne McBride. Dwayne McBride fits the build. New Orleans. All the New Orleans running backs are gone. We could go with the tight end, like a Juwan Johnson. Is he still there? Juwan Johnson's still there. We'll see who falls, though. I think we want to build in ADP value. So if one of these guys falls a ton, we'll go ahead and grab any of them. Actually, if Ford does fall to us, we'll take Ford since that'd be 10 picks after ADP. That would give us some ADP value back. I don't think I want to take an 8th wide receiver. I think that would feel pretty gross. Jerome Ford ends up getting taken. Let's see. Damn, I didn't expect all these wide receivers to be here. So we probably needed to go running back a little bit quicker. Am I going to reach again? It feels like I'm going to reach again. So we might have to save the ADP value for our last few picks because it feels like I'm going to reach again. I didn't want to, but if it calls for it, like screw it, we're gonna have to reach again. Kenny Pickett right there felt pretty good. So Kenny Pickett it was. He's our only quarterback on our roster, but we'll probably take our second QB as long as Steve Raw and Larry D pass on our guy. But if Roshan makes it to us, we'll go ahead and add Roshan to this roster. There isn't a lot of correlation, but that's okay. I think just a one-off running back, since running backs don't even have that much correlation, it's okay to build in a completely uncorrelated running back, since running backs just get the ball and they do shit on their own. So if Roshan makes it to us, we'll go ahead and hit Roshan and grab 18 picks of ADP value. Honestly, screw it. If KJ Osborne makes it to us, maybe we'll just grab our 8th wide receiver. Our KJ Osborne gets taken. So we'll go ahead and take Roshan Johnson to build in claw back some of the ADP value from taking Kenny Pickett so far ahead of ADP. It's a little bit more leaning towards Kenny Pickett having more of a reach, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and grab our second quarterback in Kyler Murray, claw back the ADP value there as well. I know it's only 2 picks, but any bit of ADP value that we can fight back is going to be good. We want to be closer to that 0 range than rather than be in the negative, which we're at right now. We're probably slightly negative, but that's okay. That's okay. Being slightly negative is not a death sentence, whereas being hugely negative could be. So let's see how the room continues to fall. We've got 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 7 wide receivers, and 1 tight end. We have 3 picks left, and it feels like one more quarterback. 3 picks left, 1 more quarterback, 1 more running back, 1 more tight end. That would feel pretty good. Which quarterback do we want? Where's the most leverage? Chicago plays Atlanta. We could go, like Helpham said, we could go Ritter just to build in that rushing upside. That would feel pretty sneaky with 3 sneaky rushing upside quarterbacks. We'll see how the room falls, but we definitely could go Ritter. If Bryce Young falls to us, we could just add a little Bryce Young. We could add a little Bryce Young, Hayden Hurst stack. We could also add a little Mac Jones. We could also go Trey McBride stacking with Kyler Murray. We could add a little Mac Jones. Ferguson's a one-off. That wouldn't fit. Mac Jones, Hunter Henry stack. That would feel pretty nice. Oops. We might want to add Dwayne McBride to this roster to build in the correlation with Mr. Jordan Addison. Green Bay's defense should be pretty decent, though, but I still like him. We could have Latavius Murray to bring in correlation with Gabe Davis. Could add Keontae Ingram, actually. I do like Keontae Ingram. I was talking him up yesterday on the podcast. But Travion doesn't really make sense. Top IRL asks, maybe you have answered this, but what do the players with green names mean? Green names means correlation. Basically, it means I already have a player on that team on my roster. So, like Hunter Renfrow, for example, we have Jacoby Myers. Tyler Conklin, we have Breece Hall. Khalil Shakir, we have Gabe Davis. Chase Brown, we have the whole Cincinnati Bengals offensive playmakers. Lenny ends up getting taken. G. Siggs is drafting pretty sharp. I applaud what G. Siggs is doing. Actually, never mind. G. Siggs took Isaiah Pacheco and Brian Robinson, so never mind. Let's see, though. We don't have any of the San Francisco guys, so Brock Purdy doesn't make sense. If Zeke falls to us, Ezekiel Elliott feels like a pretty big value. Ezekiel Elliott seems like a pretty big value. Cordero's also a huge value. Do we have any of the Chicago, Atlanta guys? Oh, we do have Roshan. We don't have any of the pass catchers, though. But that Atlanta-Chicago game could just be a pure, just like slugfest, just pound the rock. So we'll get either Dwayne McBride or Cordero. Cordero's ranked much higher in our rankings, so maybe he's going to be the option. Ritter fits the build, too, and we could go a little Ritter, Cordero. Bryce Young got taken, right? Bryce Young did get taken. Jeff Wilson goes. Yeah, maybe we just go Hayden Hurst here as the bring back on Christian Kirk and take Bigsby. And I really like Hayden Hurst. I think he's a massive value at his ADP. But we could go Trey McBride and stack him with Kyler. You know, I really like Trey McBride. I'm going to grab Trey as long as they don't say the same bye week. All right, we're going to go Trey McBride here. And then we're going to try to build in the Atlanta correlation. We're going to go ahead and grab Desmond Ridder if he falls to us, just because there's a lot of upside with Desmond Ridder, and then we're going to add in correlation with Cordero Patterson. Just have like a mini game stack of Desmond Ridder, Roshan Johnson, and Cordero Patterson. Feels weird, but like, you know what? Screw it. Like, I'll take it. It's it's unconventional for sure, but having a roster of Kenny Pickett, Kyler Murray, Desmond Ridder, ton of rushing upside in that quarterback room. And Kenny Pickett should be able to sustain just offensive production in Pittsburgh this year. And then our running backs are Breece Hall, Joe Mixon, Jerick McKinnon, Tank Bigsby, Roshan Johnson, And we're planning to add one of Cordero, Dwayne McBride, or Keontae at the end of the draft. Wide receiver room, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, Jordan Addison, Michael Thomas, Jacoby Myers. Feels very, very strong. And then our tight ends are Pat Freiermuth and Trey McBride. That feels very strong as well. So I like the team that we're building so far. I like the correlation that we built in so far. We have a little bit of playoff stuff happening, not a ton, but we have some correlations here or there. Yeah, we have this little mini Pittsburgh, Pat Freiermuth, Kenny Pickett stack, mini Arizona, Kyler Murray, Trey McBride, mini Jacksonville, Tank Bigsby, Christian Kirk, and then a lot of one-offs. But we do have the bring back in Kansas City with Jerick McKinnon. He's a pretty dynamic player. But we're going to hope for Mr. Cordero to fall to us. He'll be our top pick, just to add that 6th running back in. I don't think a third tight end is not going to do anything for this team. If Pat Freiermuth misses, and this team is shit out of luck anyways. We just need that week 17, though, if the rest of the guys can carry. This wide receiver room should be able to carry. This wide receiver room is elite. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Jesus, elite stuff right there. But this feels good. This feels very, very good. But Tank says no Allen Robinson love. Sorry, Tank. No Allen Robinson love from me. He might have a few weeks here or there where he does score like a touchdown, puts up like 15, 16 points. I don't think he has even when he was really good, he was never putting up like 30 bombs. It was always like a consistent like 15, like an 8 for 80, that sort of thing. Not as great in half PPR, but I am not taking any Allen Robinson this year, which I'm okay if I get bit on Allen Robinson, I'm okay with that. But sorry, 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. All right, let's run it. 18th round pick. Let's get this shit. Cordero Patterson is the preferred pick. Would feel pretty good to get Cordero Patterson 18th round. Just because, like, he's a beast, man. He's a great football player. I know Bijan, Algier, both are probably going to eat from a rushing perspective, but Cordero could still see a game here or there, especially if one of those get hurt. Like, the running backs in Atlanta get used so heavily that, I mean, and look at his point totals last year, 208, 144. Like, he scores touchdowns. He's a big-ass dude that scores touchdowns. So he reminds me a little bit. His career arc feels like he'll have the Latavius Murray where even like at 32, he'll just be finding his way onto a roster and just be used as like a goal line back. So I like Cordero Patterson here as our 6th running back. Would feel pretty good to draft him. And we do get him. And we get the mini stack of Cordero, Desmond Ridder, Roschon. So that feels good. I love this roster. Love this team. Didn't fall exactly the way that we wanted it to fall to us, but I think that's okay. And yeah, thank you all for joining me today. And I hope all of you have a great rest of your day. Peace.